A few quick definitions, and then we're jumping right into today's topic. Hunger, the body's signal that we need fuel and building blocks. Basically, go get food. Appetite, our desire to eat food, wanting to eat something. It can come along with hunger, but it can also be there without hunger. Cravings, our desire to eat a specific food. Again, it can be there with hunger or it can be there without hunger. So now today we're going to talk about whether or not keto suppresses appetite. Wellness warriors, in order to manage your weight, it's important to improve your health. On Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, we work on the mindset necessary to achieve that goal. Subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get on the road to health. Okay, I know I said we were going to start right away, but we need two more definitions. Suppress. That means to forcibly put an end to, or to prevent the development of. Basically, you're blocking something. And satisfied. That means that we've met the expectations, right? So the need or desire has been fulfilled. Whether or not keto suppresses your appetite matters because it impacts your behavior. And I actually don't believe that keto suppresses our appetite. I'm going to explain why. Because I really want every wellness warrior to be successful in their weight loss, in their better health, in maintaining their lifestyle long into the future. And if we don't get this, so if we get it wrong, we're going to be in trouble. If I'm hungry and you offer me food that's not offensive to me, I might eat it. But if I'm very hungry and you offer me something to eat that I don't like, I might still eat it. If I'm not hungry and you offer me food that I don't like, I'm not going to eat it. If I'm not hungry and you offer me food that I don't care about, I might still not eat it. But if I'm not hungry and you offer me food that I really like, chances are very high that I might eat it. There are two factors playing a huge role here: appetite and cravings. Sometimes my appetite can be opened because of a situation. For example, I'm at a party, or maybe I'm watching a movie. But sometimes my appetite can also be opened by the particular food in front of me. In my case, that would have been chocolate. When I was living the standard Caribbean diet, standard Canadian diet, I often chased chocolate. And interestingly, the flavor, so that mouth texture and having it, that all of the sensations that went along with actually eating chocolate contributed to me psychologically wanting to eat chocolate. But then there was this other element happening. The carbohydrates were creating a physiological reason for me to want to eat chocolate. I would, of course, get a hit of sugar that would cause a lot of action to be going on in my brain, one of which being dopamine, one of which, and all other kinds of endorphins and sensations and neurotransmitters, making the pleasure center of my brain light up. And therefore, I would want physiologically to move towards chocolate. Coming back to this idea of, so does keto suppress appetite? So interestingly, living a ketogenic lifestyle has led to the situation where I don't eat chocolate as often. But the question becomes, is that because my appetite is suppressed? Well, in fact, no. And theoretically, I could still be eating chocolate. I choose not to. And part of the reason I choose not to is that when you do a ketogenic lifestyle correctly, one of the things that you learn is you're trying to bring your grams of carbohydrate down to 20 or less. Typically, back in my normal standard Caribbean diet days, standard Canadian diet days, I was eating 350 to 400 grams of carbs per day. I know, amazing how much carb we eat. I was absolutely shocked when I did those numbers and I realized how much carbohydrate I was eating. I brought it down to 20. So does that mean that my appetite got suppressed? Well, my cravings got removed or diminished. I shouldn't say removed completely, because it's the carbohydrates that are lighting up the pleasure center in my brain that makes that combination between physiological and psychological wanting, pushing cravings of chocolate to Violet. And of course, those physiological cravings are no longer there because I'm eating much less than 20 grams of carbs per day. And psychologically, I took a decision not to eat chocolate because the amount of carbohydrate in chocolate for the amount of chocolate I would be able to eat would mean I couldn't eat very much of it, and therefore I would not be satisfied in the amount of food I was eating per day. Now we're talking about satiation. So has my appetite been suppressed? I'm still saying no. Let me continue. In order for me to really help you to understand why your appetite is not suppressed on keto, I need you to think about a situation when it really was suppressed. And there are two scenarios that I think most people have lived where it's clear our appetite is being suppressed. Scenario number one, you are physically ill, whether it's the flu or some kind of major, maybe you had an operation, some kind of major thing happened where you're physiologically ill and you cannot eat. So what that means is that I feel hungry, but the idea of putting food in my mouth is repulsive to me. The idea of eating despite feeling hungry is like, okay, no, I can't do it. And I've had people who have had illnesses tell me that this happens where they know they're hungry, they can feel they're hungry. I've had people who've had operations tell me, I could feel the hunger, but the idea of eating, their appetite was gone. Like, I don't want to put anything in my mouth. The second place that I've seen it happen where people lost their appetite is when they were so psychologically upset. So now I'm talking about I'm anxious or I'm worried or I'm depressed or I'm sad or I'm angry or I'm just so emotionally in turmoil that the idea of food repulses me even though physiologically I can tell that I'm hungry. I want us to be able to make the distinction of suppression of an appetite because I want us to be able to see that living a ketogenic lifestyle does not stop me from wanting to eat food. It does not stop me from feeling the desire to eat. When I have hunger signals, I want to eat. And if there's food available, I do eat. The desire to eat food is absolutely there. So my appetite is not suppressed. Now, I want to take this a step further. Does keto get rid of my psychological cravings? So the desire to eat chocolate? No. There are many people who are living a ketogenic lifestyle who still crave fun foods. So now I'm talking about people who are actually eating 20 grams of carbs or less. But because they've continued to allow chocolate treats and fat bombs and flavored things into their life, or whatever you were craving, whether it's soda or whatever your crave food is, because I've not taken it out of my life. For me, today, the food that I might crave are nuts, but I still crave certain things if I allow them to be part of my life, because keto doesn't suppress my appetite. What it does is it puts me in a great position to make better choices about what I'm going to eat. The other thing I want us to be able to do is to tell the difference between suppression of my appetite and feeling satisfied. It's not because I can eat a healthy keto meal, get enough fuel and building blocks to take me through the next, well, in my case, the next 24 hours, that means that my appetite is suppressed. Actually, all it really means is that I've eaten to satiation. My body has enough of what it needs to go 24 hours. Wellness warriors, I want you to keep in mind that initially I was doing 2 meals a day. So my body was not taking me 24 hours. It was taking me like 6 to 7-ish between meals and then one like 12 hours between meals. That's not difficult to do. And it doesn't mean that my appetite is suppressed when I do it. All it means is that I was satisfied enough with the meal that I had to make it to my next meal, which is what I encourage everybody to do. Wellness words. If you've experienced a scenario where you were hungry and wanted to eat something, put it in the comments below. Because I really do feel that we need to help the people who are not doing keto to understand that when I'm hungry, I feel like eating food. That means I have an appetite. And we need to get away from this lie that says that the reason keto works is because it's suppressing our appetite. It's not reality, and it isn't helping us to manage ourselves properly. Now, here's why I'm going to say that. So, if I truly believe that keto works by suppressing my appetite, then what happens every day when I'm still hungry? What happens when in between meals for a few minutes, I feel hungry? Because that does happen. And I will acknowledge that happens to me every day. At some point between my 24 hours, I might actually feel hungry. What happens when that happens? What happens when I see something that looks delicious or smells delicious and I actually want to eat it? If we believe that keto suppresses appetite, then we might think that we're not doing keto correctly. We might think that keto's not working. Why am I still hungry? Why am I still chasing food? Because I'm human. And that if something smells good to me, I might actually want to eat it. That means I have an appetite. Now, whether I choose to eat it or not is a totally different question. Whether or not I stay hungry for more than 5 minutes, that's a different question. I've often asked wellness warriors to think about this. If I happen to be fasting and I'm trying to decide when to finish my fast, the one thing that I tell you to think about is that when you feel hunger and that hunger doesn't just come and go away, it's time to eat. But when the hunger comes at that first moment and you think, oh, I could eat something, that's you having an appetite. Now, whether you act on it or not, again, is up to you. Wellness warriors, your health is what's of the utmost importance. So I really want you to prioritize health over taste and do what's best for you to make sure that you're eating appropriately, that you're eating when you're hungry, and that you're not eating when you're not hungry. So if I'm satisfied, I just don't eat. And if I'm hungry, I eat. This video on the screen right here is going to help you to get your cravings under control. Wellness warriors, I'm always so happy that you guys come back. Everybody who's new, welcome. I want to thank you for watching Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, and I really can't wait to talk to you again next week.